As you start to scale the amount of video content in your talent acquisition organization, the sheer number and size of video files can get unmanageable very quickly. Where do you store them? How do you manage them? And more importantly, how do you find it when you need it? We're going to answer all those questions and more right now. Welcome to the Speaker Agenda Show. I'm your host, Jeff Weidner. My guest today is the CEO of Sparc, the innovative recruiting platform that uses video, social media, and mobile capabilities to differentiate jobs and make recruiting more productive. They just released a new product called Amplify, which is a video management system that makes it much easier for talent acquisition organizations to manage all of their video content in one place. And it was just named the 2019 top product for employer brand video by HR Executive. Please welcome to the show, Maury Hanigan. Maury, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks, Jeff. It's fun to be here.
So before we kick off, and we're going to jump right in, believe me, but I wanted to discuss, how you got started in Sparc and what got you involved in video in the first place.
A lot of it goes back to my background. I was a computer science major in college along with a business and economics. I was a triple major. I was one of those slacker kids. And I went down the marketing route. I joined P&G, Procter & Gamble, out of school, where I did classic consumer marketing, brand management. Went from there to Pepsi, where I, again, was a brand manager. But I did a lot of recruiting, and I understood that the things that good recruiters do were the same things that good marketers do, right? They understand their target audience. They have a communication strategy. They understand their competitive strengths and weaknesses. So I started a consulting firm to advise companies on how to bring marketing to HR and be strategic staffers. And we used to do a lot of candidate perception studies and would go back to clients and say, here's the information that candidates want, here's how they want to get it, here's what they're ready for at each stage of their decision journey. And clients would say, Maury, that's great, but the tools we have available to us are job boards and our own career site. We can't do the things you're talking about. And my response was always, oh, that's nuts. You've got a high-def camera in your pocket. You absolutely can do more. And I knew from my marketing days that video is what's persuasive, right? You don't ever turn on a television and see anybody advertising anything with paragraphs of text. You don't go to social media and see anybody advertising things with paragraphs of text. Marketers have understood for a long time that video is persuasive, video is engaging. So why isn't TA using video? And some of the historic reason has been it's been expensive to produce. It's been a whole production, but it's not anymore. The technology is caught up, but the practices haven't changed. So I took my tech background and my knowledge of marketing and my knowledge of TA and said, guys, this can be a lot easier, a lot better. Let's just make this simple for people and help companies get better results when they reach out to candidates.
Awesome. So you have a company called Sparc. Tell me, quick 30 seconds, what exactly does Sparc do?
Okay, Sparc has two products. One is Sparc, which is a outbound marketing piece. You create essentially a landing page where you add hiring manager video along with some infographics and information to a job description so that you can engage candidates. And in each Sparc has a 20-second video of the hiring manager, and that's the person you're actually going to report to. It's not a general, head of the division. It's the person who would be your boss. And you have the option of adding 2 coworkers. You can take all of that and actually embed it onto your corporate career site. So when anybody goes to your career site and pulls up a specific job posting page, they can see the video of the hiring manager and coworkers. So that's very powerful. It's meant to drive applicants to specific jobs. And it's been a very successful product. We won the HR Tech Product of the Year award when we launched that as well. But 2 months ago, we just launched Amplify, which is our video management system. And that's meant to create, organize, share all the other videos that aren't specific hiring manager video, that aren't designed to drive specific candidates to a specific job. But we're obviously big believers in video, and we understand there are lots of times in the whole recruiting process and in the employer brand building process where video is helpful. And Sparcs are a very specific thing. They're meant to be job marketing for specific jobs. But clients didn't have any way to really create the other videos, to share the other videos, to organize the other videos. They're on different servers. Corporate marketing created some of the videos and they're housing
Or on
them.
YouTube.
We'll get to YouTube. Yeah, a lot of them are on YouTube, and I'm not a fan for lots of reasons. But also, if you've hired a third-party vendor, a production company, they've got some videos. You've got employees who on their own phones have filmed the charity run they did last weekend, which would be a great kind of culture thing you want to add. They're all over the place, and they're not used particularly effectively. And hopefully we're going to talk about ROI here. There's a ton of assets, of video assets that get underutilized because recruiters can't access them and they're not in front of the people you want them in front of at the right time.
So I remember when I started at the RPO that I worked with years ago, when I first joined that RPO, they had every recruiter, they had about 500 recruiters worldwide, and every recruiter was saving the resumes that they were downloading off of job boards. They were saving all those resumes on their individual hard drives, right? So you had 500 recruiters, 500 laptops or desktops, and you had tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of resumes being downloaded. You're equating that same thing is happening with video now, right? We solved that resume problem by putting them into the CRM or the ATS. The VMS is the same thing. It's just for video content.
It is, except the problem is worse for video because video files are so big. You can't email them to people. So if I've got a video on my hard drive and somebody else wants it, I've got to find an FTP to upload it and download it to them. I can't just send it to them. And depending on where it is, I may or may not have a link to it. If it's on a corporate server, it may be behind some kind of firewall. So videos are they're big, they're gangly, they're hard to move. Having them centrally accessible is absolutely required for video.
Yeah, a resume is maybe 50, 100 kilobytes, where a video file could be 50 megabytes minimum,
Right.
just for a simple little 3-minute video or so. For half-hour videos, some of the videos that I record are a couple gigabytes, right? So they chew up a massive amount of space, and then you add graphics and everything or audio on top of that, and it just grows exponentially.
Yep.
So when should a company really start looking at implementing a video management system? I see a lot of companies, they're starting to dabble in this video content, right? They're creating video job ads, and they're creating all kinds of employer brand video and things like that. Should they start right in the beginning?
Yeah.
Should they wait a year or two until they have all this content? When's the best time to start?
No, absolutely at the beginning, for a couple of reasons. Once you've got a video, the first thing you want to do is make sure that all the videos that are being used for any kind of employer brand or TA outreach, that they're approved videos, that they're brand appropriate and brand approved. And one of the things that Amplify, our video management system, has is an approval process. So all the videos that are uploaded to the system have to be approved by somebody in the company. When you set up your account, you decide who has approver privileges, and then you make those videos accessible to everybody in your organization. So even if you've only got a handful of them, let's assume that you've only produced a couple videos, you've done them with a professional production company. If you've made that investment, you want to make sure everybody has access to them so they can send them out. Putting them on your corporate career site is not the answer. I would encourage everybody to go look at the stats of the number of people who have actually viewed those videos. Career Builder did a study of 5,000 corporate websites and found that only 1.5% of visitors ever watched the videos on the corporate career site. So if you think we've produced this video, we've put it on the corporate career site, great, we're getting all this visibility, you're probably not. You need to go and look at how many people are actually seeing it. The reality is candidates look at those videos, they see that they're highly produced, they think they're just going to be commercials, it's going to be corporate happy talk, it's going to be too general to apply to them, so they don't watch them. So you want to, first of all, have videos that you can send out, get in front of people, make sure they're accessible. You want to make sure they're approved. But the other thing with Amplify is you can use it to create videos, to request videos from individual employees, request videos from employees in general, set up a landing page. So you start right at the beginning with getting your videos approved, getting them tagged so you can search them and find them, making them accessible to everyone. it's sort of like, how much paper should you collect before you have a filing system? Or how long in your inbox before you should start to organize things?
Buy the filing cabinet before you start
Yeah,
collecting paper resumes, right? So
exactly.
you're going
Yep,
to start creating tons of video content. Get the filing cabinet first, right?
exactly. Yep,
Right.
exactly.
So you mentioned that it allows you to control your employer brand using a VMS, right? How can it really help control that? I mean, you've got different logos, you've got a dark logo, you've got a light logo, you've got lower thirds, you've got different color schemes and things like that. How can a VMS really help you control your employer brand?
Well, we look at I believe your employer brand is your reputation as an employer. Right? That's your brand. It's not the logos, it's not the colors, it's not the taglines. Those are all elements that hopefully are supporting an employer brand. But your employer brand is really what people think of you as an employer. You could have an investment bank that could decide that, their employer brand is going to be pink. They're going to decide that they're the nice people. Our perceptions of working at investment banks aren't that they're cozy, warm, cuddly kinds of places. Their employer brand is that they are very intense, they are very aggressive, they are very results oriented. That is the employer brand of investment banks in general, and then you get down to specifics and they vary a little. So there's a reality that your real employer brand is not what you're trying to create, but rather the message that's communicated by employees. So employees are going to be your most credible communicator of your employer brand. So by using video, particularly informal video that's not scripted, please don't script your employees. You will lose all credibility immediately. Employees are not professional actors. They can't pull off a written script, and you can see them reading and you can tell they are saying what it is you want them to say. You lose it. Let them talk. If you've got a basically positive, constructive corporate culture and people enjoy their jobs, get satisfaction out of it, if you just let them talk, that's going to come through and that's going to be credible. And that collectively is what's going to credibly create your employer brand. People are going to see your employees talking about working there, talking about the training, talking about whatever, and they're going to get a perception of what it's like to be an employee there. That's the piece that you get to control as an employer brand person, is making sure you're reaching out to people, capturing those snippets and getting it in front of potential employees so that they hear that message and they start to internalize it.
So who are the main users of the VMS? I understand that we're creating content in lots of different avenues. You've got employees, you've got recruiters, you've got who are also employees, but you may have contract recruiters. You've got potentially vendors for you saying how great your product is, or clients, things like that. Who's the real user of a VMS? Is it employer branding? Is it digital marketing? Is it the recruiting team, TA? Who controls this?
It depends by the organization. It tends to be a core tool for the employer brand team, that they're the ones who understand what videos they want to make and so forth. The people who use it the most, though, are actually recruiters, because you put all your recruiters on Amplify, and if they have a video or if they want to share a video with either on their social media or the potential candidate, one of the really nice things about Amplify is you can tag your videos so you can search for them. So if you've got a recruiter who's got a sales candidate in Milwaukee, they can easily go into Amplify and just type in, sales Milwaukee. What have I got? Have I got a video from anybody in Milwaukee talking about sales or sales in general or sales training program? Like, it makes all of your content easily accessible to them. They can take that, they can send it out directly to the candidate, they can post it on social. We've got one client right now who's asked employees to make videos about what they learned at their college that helped them be successful at the company. So, and it can be something they learned in class, something they learned in an organization, whatever. They're taking those and splicing them all together and using them for campus recruiting. It's brilliant. It's a message that says, if you go to, University of Minnesota, here are things people learned that made them successful in our company. There's a direct translation between your education and success here. It's brilliant stuff. So we're finding more and more ways that people are using this video, but the primary users are the recruiters who are sharing it and helping to build it. It's generally managed by employer brand or the head of TA, depending on how the organization's structured. But we've got people using it for onboarding, lots of things.
When you talk about other types of video that use a VMS, VMS is nothing, special, right? There's lots of other industries that use video management systems.
Yep.
For example, cops and body cams. All that content is mostly sequential, right? You've got a start time, you've got an end time, you've got a date that you stamp it with. They may have had some kind of drug bust or some. There's no real need for a tagging system. Why is your tagging system so important in being able to find the content that you're looking for? And is it structured or is it unstructured? How is this tagging system set up?
When you either upload a video to the system or you create a video on the system or you invite people to put videos on the system, we have 4 categories of tags. We have 4 fields where you can add whatever tags you want. And this varies by organization depending on how they're using it. A lot of people use one of the categories for the division, one for location, one for its use, whether it's campus or onboarding or outreach. They all use it a little bit differently. But what's important is it makes it easy to access these videos. Videos, if they've got a title, they aren't necessarily all that descriptive. We've got one organization right now, someone was new to the TA role, and she figured she had roughly 300 videos across the organization that were being used somehow in recruiting as part of the recruiting process. She actually created an Excel spreadsheet just to keep track of what the videos were, who had them, when they were made, just to get basic information. And also she had no control over who was recording things and sending it out and what it said. It was a disaster. So having your videos not only in one place, but 300 videos is too many to go through. You want to be able to say, I need a video for this specific, I'm going to campus, I'm going to University of Vermont. What videos have I got from either University of Vermont alum or something for campus? Give me exactly what I need. Don't make me go through long, big files trying to find it. Give me what I need and let me take it with me.
And that's one of the complexities that I had right now is I knew I had a 15 or 20-second snippet that was embedded in a 3-hour video that I had that I recorded a year ago. And I was like, how am I going to find this? There's no way. I didn't have a tagging system. I didn't have a VMS. I was just using my Google Drive account to manage
Let me be clear. We're not tagging snippets of videos because
I understand,
most of the videos,
but I had no idea what video it was even in.
Yeah.
So I knew what the topic was, and I just couldn't find that specific video. So is there any kind of transcription service on top of the VMS at all, or is it just the like a storage capability?
It's primarily storage. We can do closed captioning for hearing impaired. That's an option. But basically, we've kept the VMS system very simple and clean, if you will, and easy to use so that you don't need a lot of training. There are video management systems that let you do extensive editing and sound modifying and all of that. The reality is for TA, they're not video editors. They don't want to get in that level, and it makes it for a very complex system. If you have a video that you want to do a lot of editing to, you can easily download it off the system and drop it into an editing program. Macs have got good editing programs and so forth. There are a lot of them out there. We decided not to replicate that because it just makes it a big clunky program and hard to do. So we've got very basic things on the system, but it's mostly a system to create videos, to ask somebody to record a video, have them upload it, approve it, and make it accessible to all your recruiters to share and make it easy to share on social media directly from the system. Those are the things that...
I know you said there's no way to edit the videos. Can you combine multiple videos into a single video? No?
No, we haven't done that. Those are really editing capabilities, and that then becomes more complex. One of the things we've found, we look at adoption all the time, right? That's the real key is, does the tool get used? And the more complex you make it, the less likely it is to be used. What we want to have happen is people just, they're on the system. It's really easy. You go and you type in what you want. You find the video you want. You click the single click, copy link, and you send it out or you share it. Social icon buttons are right there on the main dashboard. It's like, here's the video I wanted to share on LinkedIn. Here's the video I wanted to share on Facebook. Let me put this one out on Twitter. Single click. That's the kind of thing that gets used. Realistically, recruiters, I don't understand how they handle 40 recs at a time. That doesn't seem reasonable to me at all. But they do it. I mean, and you get into sourcers who are just scary people, the things that they can actually do. But clearly, we have a lot of respect for these folks and understand that if you don't make it fast, if you don't keep it simple, they're not going to use it. They've got too many moving pieces at all times. So they don't want to be video editors. They don't want to, that's not their world. They want to get results. They want to get information in front of candidates. And so we've done as much one click, click, here's the video, here's the share it, here you go, you're done, move on. And that's why we're finding the adoption. We've made it really, really simple for people.
So I'm going to play devil's advocate here. I know we mentioned YouTube and, neither one of us are big advocates of using YouTube for a variety of different reasons. But for those of you that may be considering, or for those people that may be considering using YouTube or even Vimeo that solve some of the advertising issues, why shouldn't they use YouTube and why should they be using a VMS?
Don't get me started.
Or even Google Drive or Dropbox or any of the other things, right?
Let me give you the three main reasons you shouldn't use YouTube. The first one is just the absolute amount of clutter on YouTube. That when someone sees a video, YouTube is a master at clickbait, right? They know what concert you'd rather be watching, what John Oliver's, session you missed, all the things that you would rather do than be looking at recruiting videos. Because let's face it, guys, in the whole scheme of really things that are clickbaity, recruiting videos aren't up there. So there's just too much noise and too much clutter. It's not the kind of professional environment that you want your recruiting video. That's the first thing. You're going to lose people much too quickly. The second piece, and a lot of organizations don't know this, when you upload a video to YouTube, they then own it. Their terms of service say that they have an unlimited license to own that video, and they can repurpose it, they can sell it, they can use derivative works of it. You've lost your intellectual property. Now, you might say, well, I don't care if I own this, clip it. But, and realistically, YouTube probably isn't going to take your video and sell it as stock for somebody else. But anybody else who grabs that video and uses it for any purpose whatsoever, you can't go and fight them because you don't own it anymore. So let's say someone takes one of your employee videos, chops a little snippet out of it so it seems like they're endorsing another product and puts it on their commercial. A, that's not what your employee signed up for. B, that's not what you want your employee out there doing. And if you try to go and sue that company, you don't own the video. You have no standing. You can try to get YouTube's lawyer to go and fight for you, but you gave up the right to that video. You don't have the intellectual property. And good luck getting YouTube's legal department to go fight your legal battles for you. So it's the wrong environment there. The third and final piece that you shouldn't do it is, I hear people say all the time, oh, well, candidates go and search YouTube and they need to be able to find our videos. I would encourage everyone, the minute they get off this broadcast, to go to YouTube and type in jobs at whatever company and see what comes up. You will probably be horrified because you can't control that content. Anyone who's uploaded a video, it's going to be there. Any video that's 5 years old, 10 years old, heaven knows what's there. It just comes up. So sending people to YouTube to search for your job videos is absolutely counterproductive. And sometimes it's death. Particularly if you have somebody who's been disgruntled, they came out of an interview, they make a video about their awful video with your company. It's a little bit like an uncontrolled Glassdoor situation. But
I was just going to say that.
Yeah, that's not the environment you want to be in. So YouTube's not the place to be. It's not the way that you're really going to build your brand in a constructive way.
I'm not so concerned about the loss of intellectual property. I don't think that there's a whole lot of value, honestly, in these types of videos above and beyond what that actual organization. YouTube's not going to take it. Somebody else isn't going to take it unless they use the Creative Commons you do have some recourse, although it is a pain in the butt if you need to protect your brand. What I'm most concerned about with using YouTube is the advertisements. So when your video is done, there's usually 3 or 4 other videos or 6 videos that pop up, and guess who they're going to be from? They're going to be from all of your direct competitors that are looking for the same type of candidates you are. So you absolutely are losing control over, you know, the messaging in that, especially at the end of the video. So there's pre-roll, mid-roll, and end roll, and you're losing control of the end roll video footage, which is a bad place to lose it, right?
There are lots of reasons not to be on YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to use something like that, I recommend Vimeo. It does cost something to put it up there, but at least you can control the environment a little bit better. So once you get Amplify up and running, how long does it, you say it's very easy, but how long does it take to get them trained? And, you know, user adoption is always a big issue, which, you know, is a separate issue, but just the training aspect, how long would you say that it typically takes them to get up and running?
3-4 minutes.
Yeah. You're basically sending a link and clicking play, right?
Yeah,
what about the adoption piece though? Or are you seeing high utilization yet? It's only been out there for 2 months, so.
Right, and the use cases are just exploding out. So I'll tell you the most recent one that I think is just brilliant. We've got a client who's got a ghosting problem. That they're hiring a lot of hourly employees, and they've got a fair number who don't show up on Monday morning. So they're having all new employees spend the first day in training. So they're having the training manager record quick, they're like 10-second videos that just say, hey, Jeff, we're delighted you're joining us. I saw that you're in my class on Monday morning. I've got a seat all set up for you. I've got your name on the name tag. We're going to teach you everything you need to know to be successful here. See you Monday.
And that's one of the biggest mistakes recruiters make. They think that it's only for driving traffic to their job or engaging candidates. This can be used for onboarding, employer branding. There are so many different use cases for video in the recruiting process that's going to make it much more efficient, much more engaging, and compelling to not only new hires, but also potential hires as well. That's a great use case. Love that.
We've got another one right now that for new employees is sending them a link and saying, you know, glad you're going to be joining us. We want to make sure everybody on the floor knows that you're coming and that you're the new person. Please just make a couple-second video and tell us what kind of food you like to eat and what sports teams you follow, or anything that'll help us, make you feel welcome.
Yeah.
What a cool short, and all of this stuff basically is free, right? You've got a video management platform, which is really inexpensive. And then you can create all these videos as you need them. Create them, delete them when they're no longer useful. But it's a great way to do all kind of, we talked about all this technology that's taking the human element out of recruiting. Video is a way to put the human element back in. It's a name, it's a face. It's the reason you and I are doing this on video, right? And the reason people are watching. They get to watch our expressions. They get to see us. It's just much more compelling than either reading a transcript of this or just listening to voice.
I mostly have a blank expression because I'm listening so intently and trying to take some notes. So, so where do you see talent acquisition leaders, recruiters? How much content are we really talking? I mean, I know you guys just launched 2 months ago, but if you think long term, a year, 2 years, 5 years down the road, how much content are we talking about here? I mean, in terms of like kilobytes, megabytes, gigabytes, petabytes.
I don't even want to go to the storage amount. I'm more looking at people. I keep talking about purpose-driven video because I'm a businesswoman. I really want to look into it. I want to ask all the time, why are you making this video? Who is your audience? What is it you want them to learn or know or be persuaded of? And what do you want them to do? And how are you going to measure that? I think if you're running TA, those are the questions you want to be asking all the time. Not, let's go make a recruiting video. No, let's not. I want to know, let's make a video that has a real purpose, that we understand whether or not we've invested our time and our resources well. And I see lots of places where people are finding, are looking at that and saying, okay, let's look at this candidate journey. We're going to get back. I know you like long videos and I don't, but we're not so far apart as you'd think. And I'll give you my favorite example.
I just think long videos have a place. I love the short videos too. I've done thousands of them. They're great for driving traffic, but I think the 3 to 5 minute video is really what candidates are looking for. They want more content.
Let me offer just a perspective on this, because I don't necessarily think you're wrong. I just think being purpose-driven, it's like, where does that video start? And my best example is, my favorite hotel in the world is Buscasco in Portugal. It used to be the King's Hunting Lodge, and they've turned it into a hotel. It's magical. Now, my just telling you that, if I sent you a 7-second video, for 7 seconds, you might look at it and see why I'm so excited about this. If you were going to Portugal and trying to decide whether or not you wanted to book a reservation there, you might watch a 2 to 3 minute video. And if you had booked a reservation there and were about to go, you might watch a 20-minute video about the building and what's going on there. So, like, what's the right length video? The answer is, where are you in your decision process? And I believe the same thing is true of candidates. I think if you send a candidate a video, if a candidate is going to come in for an on-site interview and you send them a video about what to expect and how to succeed in your interview, they'll sit there for a long time if they're interested in the job. If they've already made the commitment to come in and they're that interested, the amount of time they're willing to spend is really expanded. But I think when you're talking about candidate attraction at the very end, if someone's in a job, it's going well, they've got good prospects, something comes across their radar screen, maybe it's interested, maybe it's not, I don't think they're going to click on that long video. I think we all understand that in the journey, as our commitment to something gets greater, our willingness to participate gets greater. So the kind of video we look at is the very beginning. It's like, give me a snippet, give me a reason to want to learn more. Okay, now I've learned that. Now I'm ready to maybe read a couple paragraphs or read some bullet points. Now, as I move in the process, I'm interested in more things. So I think you need to align the video, going back to purpose-driven. What is it you want the candidate to do? If you're at the very beginning and you just want them to pick their head up and focus on your job and consider it and get it on their radar screen, I think it needs to be short. If you're trying to convince them to join or to actually take a next step, it may well be longer, and that may be the appropriate length.
So I love recruiting funnels, right? So I come from a recruitment marketing automation background. I've been doing that for years,
Yep.
Where we use a video funnel, and the video funnel would start off with a video voicemail from the recruiter. Hi, my name's Jeff. I'm a recruiter I've got a position for, which leads to a video job description. First one was maybe 30 seconds long. Second one, maybe 3 to 5 minutes long, may or may not have that hiring manager. And then the next one, if they're interested, they go to the apply page. And after they go through the apply sequence, they can go through an employer brand video, which might be even longer, right? So it's just a video funnel. Give them a little snippet, give them a little bit more information, a little bit more information. And this way you're controlling the content that that candidate is seeing when they're seeing it, and it answers the question at the time they're most likely to have that question, as opposed to dumping them onto a landing page for a job description, right? Career website, hello. And then you've got 25 links, join this job alert, click here for this, find employer information here, do your job search. It's too confusing for most candidates. You got 25 different links on a page. They just want to find their job and get the right questions answered. They don't even know what questions they have. So,
Right. Yep. Yeah.
So
you have to be purposeful.
Marketing 101, right?
Yes. Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. So we're going to end it right here because I want to save some of the top questions for the after hours. After hours is where I keep the cameras rolling. We end the first piece and then we go into the second piece. So Maury, thank you so much for joining me today. Absolutely had a fantastic, great conversation.
Thanks.
Any last words here?
No, except if you're not using video, you need to be. Absolutely where it's going to be. And you need to keep it simple. I would say, if you've got people that are downloading apps and having to go through lots of work just to get the video made, you're not going to get the adoption. Keep it easy for them, whether it's hiring managers, coworkers, absolutely keep it easy and you'll get the adoption that you need and have success with it.
Video doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be complex, and it can be very quickly done if you do it correctly, right? Messaging is more important, honestly. Get your messaging down.
Yep.
Try not to overcomplicate things. That's the biggest thing. They complicate things way too much in video. Very succinctly said. Thank you. All right. So
Thanks, Jeff.
thank you very much, Maury. Make it a great day, everybody.
Great. Thanks.
Great conversation with Maury. You're going to want to stick around for the after hours show because that's where I ask Maury how companies can avoid making the biggest mistake in video management. She also gives me her opinion on what effect video has on potentially injecting bias into the recruiting process. Before I leave, I've got a few quick announcements. First, I'm still looking for guests to come on the show and talk about HR technology process, strategy, tactics, whatever. I'm game. Below, there's going to be a link and also on the Speaker Agenda site where you can send a request to be a guest speaker on the show. As I build up the audience for the show, please make sure to click subscribe so you get notified when all the next shows get released. I've got some incredible guests coming on the show to talk more about candidate experience, the future of work, and how AI is going to be taking over all of your recruiter jobs. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also, don't forget, there's a link below for the After Hours Speaker Agenda show so Maury and I can finish our conversation. Stay strong, stay connected. Cheers, everyone. Bye-bye.